is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Blackmore. We are Wisconsin. You still got a lot of this journey to run. How do you want to run?
It's a journey that began long ago, beginning in backyards and venturing on to Friday nights underneath the lights. It's a journey that hasn't been easy.
We're gonna fight to the end. We will not give up on each other.
Paved with grit, determination, and dedication, believing that good is not good enough.
Tonight's your night. This is what matters.
And that sacrifice will advance us to victory.
You can do this. You just have to believe.
This journey, we wouldn't trade for anything.
Get this done.
Because it has led us here to this moment.
You have the opportunity to be great right now.
This is our time to play for our team, our school, our town. This is it. This is what we play for.
Time is the game's on.
Welcome to Camp Randall Stadium, home of the 2016 WIAA Football State Championships. We are getting ready for our final game of action, the Division I title match between the undefeated Kimberly Papermakers, the three-time defending state champions, and the Franklin Sabres coming in with a 12-1 record. Good evening, everyone, from Camp Randall Stadium here in Madison. I'm Sophia Minard, joined now by Al Minard, longtime head football coach at Madison Edgewood. And so as we get ready for this Division I state title game, obviously Kimberly is always a story. Their fourth consecutive trip here to state. They're the three-time defending state champions, and they have a 55-game winning streak. So if you're Lewis Brown and the Franklin Sabres, what is your approach as you get ready for this title game, trying to take down the state powerhouse?
Well, I think one of the things you need to do is get out to have positive things happen to your football team early. Give your kids some confidence and create some doubt in the mind of the Kimberly kids. They're extremely well coached, very balanced offense with a lot of star power. But you got to try to get them, and hopefully the weather helps you get them in uncomfortable situations. Be very interesting to see how the coin toss goes and how people choose whether they want the wind or the ball.
All right, so as we get ready for this Division I title game, remember, Kimberly last year in a great game with Arrowhead came back from 21 down to defend their state title. Our game announcers, Bob Brainerd and Bill Brophy, guys, the Kimberly Papermakers, they're not afraid of a little adversity, but certainly they've got the pressure and the target on their back.
Absolutely, Sophia. Bill, we won't have a snow globe game. Maybe played in a tornado the way the wind is kicking up here. Al Minard touched on it. The fact that there are so many stars on both sides of the football field, so many terrific athletes, but it really might come down to the comparison of the quarterbacks, because these two QBs are both three-sport stars. They get it done in baseball, in basketball, certainly in football. Danny Vandenboom, difference maker for the Papermakers.
Yeah, he's thrown for 2,200 yards. We saw Vandenboom as a freshman starting at shortstop in Kimberly in the state baseball final 3 years ago. He's just a good player. His dad, Matt, played here, played in the NFL. He's a poised leader. He can throw the ball. On other teams, he'd probably have more passing yardage than he does here. This guy, Max Alba, is a junior from Franklin. He's being recruited for baseball by TCU in Indiana. He throws 88, 90 miles an hour. Also throws it all over the yard, 2,000 yards. Now, the passing game's got a chance to be affected by that tornadic conditions you're talking about. We went from a pretty day to a windy day. Weather could be a factor for the second straight year in the D1 final.
Buckle up, everybody. It's the Papermakers trying to keep their streak alive. The Sabres trying to ruin it. Division I title game is next.
Cornerback number 11, Dawson Ziegler. Cornerback number 5, Brad Tobin. Playing safety number 8, Alec Restock. And at safety number 21, Eric Simmons. coached by Steve Jones, also Here are their starters on offense. Left end, number 8, Tyler Verstegen. Left tackle, number 63, Corey Moore. Going left guard, number 57, Jared Larson. At center, number 79, Alex Petrisco. Right guard, number 75, Jake McAvoy. At tackle, right tackle, number 65, Logan Ross. Right end, number 87, Tyler Ross. Playing tight end, number 82, Tanner Johnson. And running back, number 1, DJ Stewart. And fullback, number 85, Arnold.
Papermakers back at state trying to defend their 3 consecutive state titles. Franklin Sabres, they were almost here a year ago, fell on the final play in level 4, so Arrowhead came instead. Warhawks and Papermakers played a memorable game in 2015. Hope we have more of the same here. Steve Jones, he said he'll take another memorable game as long as it ends in his favor. Almost gave him a heart attack last year, but what a job he has done with this program. His 6th season as the head coach, and Lewis Brown, his 6th season, but his 24th overall with the program. Sabres won the toss, deferred, so they will kick off first.
A 17-mile-an-hour wind gusting to 25 is at Franklin's back. The wind has blown the ball off the tee. And there's a wind advisory in Madison for gusting winds to be over 30 miles an hour as this game proceeds. That's why we talk so much about the weather. There, I guess it's updated conditions. The feels like temperature, I'm told, is 45, Bob. It feels colder than that to me.
Go back to the D3 game this morning at 10 a.m. It was 61 degrees. Mother Nature going to play a factor here in the D1 contest as Austin Geiger boots it off. Parker Shue and DJ Stewart are deep. This is Stewart at the 8. He's got some speed, has a burst. Out of bounds he goes at the 38-yard line. Stewart is an all-state running back. You'll see lots of him early and often carrying the pigskin.
They have 5 all-staters on this Kimberly roster. Stewart being one of them. He usually gets the ball handed to him by that guy, Danny Vandenboom. There's his numbers. We've seen him over the years direct this Kimberly championship attack. That's what he's done his senior year. He'll come to UW following his dad's footsteps as a preferred walk-on next year.
A smart, heady, confident quarterback. 1st and 10 at the 36. And the first carry goes through to Zach Miller. He's the quote-unquote other running back in this backfield, the unsung member, if you will. Does all the little things, helps block for Stewart, but they'll also give him carries.
Carried it 134 times now this year for over 800 yards.
Got 4 there, 2nd down and 6. Shotgun for Vandenboom. Long count. Quick sideline toss. Catch is made. Just shy of a 1st down by a yard. Catch made by Tyler Bruss, our Wisconsin Milk Marketing Board keys to the game, Bill.
Well, Kimberly needs to neutralize Alba, who's the guy that makes the Franklin offense go. They'll be assisted by the wind. Franklin, meanwhile, knows they got to get the early lead. Their coach said as much the other night. There is Lewis Brown. He feels that they can play from ahead. Al Minert alluded to it as well. He can make Kimberly come out of its comfort zone and give confidence to his Sabres.
3rd and 2 here from the 44. It's Stewart. Knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Sabres were there en masse, and they'll force a 3 and out here to Kimberly on the opening drive.
Certainly the start the Sabres wanted. Here's the big stop as Franklin gets the call on third down, and he's met by three guys pursuing for the ball.
Yeah, pick one.
That was Murphy McCutcheon who made the initial hit.
Along with Aaron Simmons, linebacker. They got it done. Line drive kick. Brad Tobin scoops it up at the 14. And Tobin dragged down at the 13. Great special teams play by Kimberly. But Franklin will get their offense on the field early here. And the very talented junior QB, All-State honorable mention, Max Alba, threw for 28 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. Bill talked about that baseball is actually his meal ticket at the next level, throwing close to 90 miles an hour. D1 programs galore want him. He may rethink that because he is awfully good slinging the rock.
Big kid at 6'5", 185.
Drops back out of the pocket, finds Dykstra, who comes out of the backfield, and Dykstra, yards after the catch, Tanner picks up a first down.
You've seen him play. Everybody that does talks about his poise, his maturity. Again, he's just a junior.
Yeah, he doesn't sweat. When the team gets in a tough situation, he looks like a 4-year senior at the controls. And he's like Vandenboom. They just both have this calm demeanor about them, and it breeds confidence in their respective offenses. 1st and 10 at the 24. Actually, 2nd down and 2. They marked him just shy. Alba. Sideline toss. Missed his target. Incomplete. It was intended for Mitch Hansen. These receivers that Max Alba has at his disposal are very, very good. A pair that have caught over 1,000 yards. Ethan Wittenberg, number 7, Kyle Lewis, number 3. Even when you throw the football around as much as Franklin, that's tough to do. 3rd and 2, they go to the ground, and Dykstra, off the right side, he picks up the first down.
Dykstra's their leading ball carrier. It's his 141st carry. Run for just under 700 yards, but they don't run it a lot. They make their yards through the air. That's why how Alba tames the winds today will be an interesting development as the afternoon goes on.
See Dykstra carry along with Derek Jones, who's a more athletic, dynamic runner when he's in there. Ball at the 27, 1st and 10, Franklin. Fires. That's Wittenberg. 1st down, Sabres. Both these receivers, Lewis and Wittenberg, ranked in the top 10 in the state. Both of them are special, big, tall targets for their big, tall quarterback. And here is the resume for the team out of the Southeast Conference. Defeated Badger, very good team in the Southern Lakes, down in Kenosha in level 4.
They beat a good Marquette club in the quarterfinals as well. 45-23 was the score in that one.
Alba had 4 TD passes in that one and 4 TD passes against Badger as Dykstra runs into a wall of paper makers. Boy, Kyle Mayfield, honorable mention All-State, was there to shake his hand.
Boy, Dietzen also involved. That's his 11th tackle for a loss this year for Dietzen, number 94.
Boyd Dietzen along with McCormick, a couple of bookend studs on that front line. 2nd and 10. Lewis slides through. Alba in traffic. It's busted up. Catch is never made, intended for Wittenberg.
Charlie Biolo got a hand in there that prevented Wittenberg from making the catch. Biolo was their top tackler a year ago. Hasn't achieved those heights this year. He makes a nice play there.
Here's your offensive line led by senior Hawk Wimmer, 62. You'll see Wimmer playing both sides of the football. 3rd down and 10, empty for Alba. And whistles blow this play dead. Patrick Hammond, longtime official here in the state of Wisconsin. There he is, Whitecap.
Got a false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. We paid third down.
There you see the rest of his crew, Phil, Ryan, Casey, and Tyler. Pat, longtime former basketball coach up at Eau Claire North.
And it's a feather in those gentlemen's caps to be on this stage, deemed the best in the state, according to the WIA. So congratulations to those guys for making it to Camp Randall as well.
Pat came up during the D2 game to say hello and wish us well. 3rd and 15 for Alba and the Sabres. He's got tons of time. In traffic over the middle, right at the sticks. Catch is made by Wittenberg.
He paid the price, but you saw Alba's arm right there as he whistled that one in. And they move the chains and keep their initial drive of the day alive.
Steve Jones talked about not only Alba, but these receivers, Wittenberg and Lewis. To have a pair at your disposal is quite a luxury. Tough to defend. Ball at midfield, 1st and 10, Franklin. Pitch it. Dykstra will lower his head, and Dykstra, as Bill said, not a big kid, but physical runner, runs well between the tackles.
Mitch 5'10", 177, comes out for a breather.
Gain of 5, 2nd and 5.
Kimberly a staple in this game over the years. It's amazing, and we'll get into it as the afternoon goes on. But this is their 6th championship appearance in 7 years. Their 4th straight title. Trying to win their 6th championship in 7 appearances.
Alba. Ball batted. And it knocks down to the turf. 65 got it. That's Logan Bruss, all-state lineman on the offensive side. He's going to come down here and play for Wisconsin. They stick him on the defensive side for plays like this.
Yeah, he just sticks a big paw in front of it. Alba's got no chance. Bruss doesn't know where the ball is. Otherwise, going to paint a memorable play.
Here's your all-staters, Bill.
Yeah, they've got a slew of them, 5 to be exact. And Bruss will come here with Vandenboom. Bruss coming on a scholarship.
3rd and 5. Bruss stays in there. Alba rolls. In trouble. Now out of trouble. Catch is made. Did he hang on? Yes, he did. Took a lick. And down goes Mike Henning, the 3rd receiver in this 3-headed monster for Franklin.
Again, looking to whistle this ball in there. Avoids Bruss, buys some time with his feet, makes a nice throw. Ryan Carney delivered a pretty solid hit, too.
Did he ever? And Henning able to hang on. 1st and 10, Franklin. Drive stays alive. Alba. All kinds of time to the end zone. Off the hands. Had a chance. Wittenberg had a little separation.
Yeah, he was behind Max Dorn. And Alba probably didn't get rid of the ball in time. As you can see, Wittenberg with some room makes the adjustment, then can't hold on.
Wittenberg's a big, thick target at 6'3".
On a still day, that might have been a better throw. But they went deep in the 36, again with a gusty wind at Alba's back.
See Derek Jones in the backfield now. He's flanked behind Alba. Shovel it to Jones. And there's that speed paying off. Picks up the 1st down to the 23. With pressure coming in, Bill, Alba hung in there to the last second.
They neutralized that pressure with the shovel pass. That technically will go down as passing yardage as well. And this is an impressive-looking drive for the Sabres, keeping Kimberly off balance. Showing all their weapons early.
Almost halfway through the first quarter. Kimberly went 3 and out. Franklin chewing up clock, chewing up yardage. Alba with bodies hanging all over him, missed his target there. Intended for Jake Stauber. It'll be second down and 10. I asked Steve Jones, Bill, if during their run here, the first 13 games, if they've seen anything close to the Sabres offense, and he said, look, I don't think anybody's seen anything like this anywhere in the state. It's very unique, it's potent. And Steve Jones knew that his guys would have their hands full defensively. Alba again with time. Over the middle, catch is made. First and goal, Franklin. Michael Hansing was there to reel that one in. Fourth different receiver that he's targeted here on this drive.
Put him against Zerpel. Connor Zerpel's the defender here. And again, he whistles this one in. Nice throw. Good catch with the defender. Really in pretty good coverage.
And Alba was just that much better on target. Ball to 2, first and goal Franklin, looking to draw first blood against the defending state champs.
They go to the Wildcat.
It's Dykstra. And Dykstra careens in for the touchdown. 2-yard touchdown run. He had Latron Kirk-Spewer. That's their big fullback that they put back there when they do this, Bill, but Dykstra didn't even need him, did it all on his own.
And the little guy squirts in there. Impressive drive for the Sabres, and they do what they wanted to do, and that's take the early lead. But really an impressive drive to show a lot of what they can do offensively.
Austin Geiger floats through the PAT. 15 plays, 86 yards, 5 minutes off the clock. Into the end zone go the Sabres to draw first blood. There's Tanner Dykstra, your touchdown machine. Bill Brophy celebrating a birthday, by the way. Happy birthday, partner, as you see the drive in 5 minutes. Max Alba went to 5 different receivers in that drive, 6 of 11 for 79 yards through the air, and they score on the ground. But, boy, you're like Nostradamus. You said they got to score early. There you go.
Well, it was an impressive drive in its length, and really the statement it made to Kimberly that we can move the ball on you.
Low line drive off the turf. Ball is on the turf. And the pile is on. Franklin says they have it.
With enthusiasm, they say they have it.
Yes, they do. It wasn't onside, but you still get the same end result when the Papermakers' special teams couldn't handle it.
Maybe something's brewing here at Camp Randall on a windy day. Ball still loose. They just wanted it more, and Franklin gets it. Follow the bouncing ball.
That was Tyler Bruss, one of their sure-handed receivers who couldn't find the handle. Hot potato underneath the pile. Max Alba and company back in the field.
I think Noah Rugber, number 45, fell on the football, I believe.
Alba to Jones. To the 24. whatever happens here, we'll all dial back and remember Arrowhead up by 21 on Kimberly and how it ended.
Can't forget that game. That's best high school football game I think I've ever seen.
Clearly.
You and Scott Nelson called it, and that was, well, one for the books.
So that works two ways. Franklin, they saw it because they watched it at home, and Kimberly lived it. 2nd down and 6. Alba calls time. Didn't like what he saw. Sabres will talk it over on the sidelines. We'll step aside as well. Franklin looking to go back into the end zone and extend their lead. Franklin youth football, the future of Franklin football, they're jacked up.
They like what they see. Why shouldn't they? Franklin with an early score going 86 yards, recover a fumble. They're in scoring position again.
2nd down and 6. Alba stepping up, dancing, and taking off. He'll hurt you there too. Big, long, lean body to bring down. Not easy. 1st down run, making it 1st and goal at the 8.
Good scramble there by a good athlete. Easy has nothing downfield. Guys decides to take off with everybody covered and picks up some substantial yardage. Going to be 1st and goal for the Sabres.
Both he and Vandenboom, they could pick one of their 3 sports and play that at the next level. That's how good they are. Great leadership. Jones on the carry. And the rugby scrum is on. To the 5. Gain of 3 for Jones. He checks out. Tanner Dykstra checks in.
Franklin trying to take advantage of the special teams error. And certainly open a lot of eyes if they could go up by 2 scores early.
2nd and goal from the 5. Max under center. Just missed. Almost had a connection for a touchdown with Kyle Lewis. But it falls to the turf, brings up 3rd and goal.
Thought he might have had the slant open. Well, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on this shot. I think the guy in the slant pattern was maybe more wide open than. It's going to be a tough throw, and it goes for naught.
Put it where only Lewis could get it, but just a tad too much on it. So 3rd and goal from the 5. 3 for 3 so far, converting on 3rd down. Need to get to the end zone here. Draw play,
fumble,
and Jones lost the football, and Kimberly has it. What a break for the Papermakers. Picked out of the pile by 45, Charlie Biolo. So no points for the Sabres.
Big play by the Kimberly defense, who had certainly bent early. And here on what had been a successful down, they cough up the football.
You saw it squirt loose on the backside as Jones tried to navigate his blockers in front.
I think Dietzen causes the fumble. Indeed, Dietzen on the strip and Biolo's Johnny on the spot to snuff out the drive inside the 5.
So Vandenboom and the Papermakers take over.
Third forced fumble of the year for Dietzen.
All kinds of Hankies litter the field here.
Dietzen just a junior.
On the offense, 5 yards or half the distance to the goal. Still first down.
Half the distance because bodies were moving early. So back to the 2-yard line. Doesn't cost you much, but it does make things uncomfortable taking snaps in your own end zone. Stewart will clear it out. And if he stays on his feet, he might have been gone for a 99-yarder.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. He was off to the races if he hadn't stumbled.
Last year, it was Blair Mulholland who ran all over everybody in the state and Arrowhead in the state championship game. And you lose him, he goes off to South Dakota, plug in DJ Stewart.
You know, and before Mulholland, they had that JP Pierenboom, and he got hurt, and Mulholland stepped in. They like to run the football. That's what they do best, along with winning. But primarily, they're a winning team. They got a talented quarterback, but they like to run the football.
First down run there. Stewart on the jet sweep. And the Sabres all over it. White shirts galore to gobble him up. They like doing that with Stewart. Run him out, either bring him through or send him out. Great receiver out of the backfield as well. Hawk Wimmer. Talked about him on offense. There he is making the play on defense. The resume for the Papermakers, you may know it because these guys get lots of headlines, and deservedly so.
55 straight wins. Bob mentioned the Open, best in the country, taking their 4th straight title.
There goes Zach Miller. Little delayed draw out to the 17-yard line.
They handled Spash in the final, as you saw in that last graphic. Their biggest playoff scare was against Fond du Lac. They trailed in the 4th quarter before rallying for a 32-29 victory near the end, and that was more than just a bit of a scare for a team that has outscored their playoff foes handily, 180-43 to be exact.
They've got a target on their back for the last 3 seasons. And they keep responding. 3rd and 7 here. Vandenboom, bullet, catch is made, first down is made. Perfect toss in stride to Alec Rosner. Gets the job done, moves the chains.
Throw there by Vandenboom. We showed his shortstop arm. He's also a pitcher. Threw his strike right there for the first down.
From the 29. Give it up to Miller. Zach. A chance to attack. Sabres were there. Alec Boudry with the tackle.
So we can come up with a lot of stats that make you go, shake your head. Steve Jones in his 6 years as a coach, his career record 74-4. And in the last 11 years, Kimberly has lost 15 football games. They're 128-15.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing what they have done. But it's a culture now, as Steve Jones will burn a timeout. It's a culture thing that was established just before Steve Jones took over. And once he did take over, he took the ball and ran with it. And the weight program became such a key for Kimberly. Since there's, dispensing all these numbers, the last time they lost, Bill, level 3 playoff game to Arrowhead, November of 2012. They have run the table since. And again, once the team from Missouri fell this year to end their streak at 51, Papermakers, they took over and they keep on winning. So they are currently the leaders in the clubhouse. Look what was going on That's the last time they lost a football game. Denver had the best record in the NFL. Alabama, best FBS record.
Mitt Romney was running for president.
That's right.
And some guy named Obama who beat him the next week after that game. That does put in perspective how long it has been since the paper makers have lost a football game.
He came up with a bunch of those. Hurricane Sandy was.
Yeah, that was the same week as Hurricane Sandy.
Gas was more expensive then.
Well, that oil rig down south blew up, causing gas price to go up. That was the same week that Arrowhead lost a football game.
There's your history lesson, kid. Stewart dances around and gets nothing and likes it. Going to bring up 3rd and 10. This front, led by defensive coordinator John Pleva. They do a 3-5, 3-4. Jake Baumgart, Tanner Schwartz, Hawk Wimmer, 62 right there. He's the big nose guard in the middle. He'll be a scholarship player somewhere, all-state. Hawk also plays lacrosse and basketball.
Yeah, I'd like to see him play lacrosse. My goodness, he factored that.
You want to take the ball away from Hawk? I don't think so.
Let me think about that during the break. Oh, we're going to take a timeout before the break. 10 seconds left.
Yeah.
I think this may have something to do with the wind and who's going to have it for this last play of the quarter. But Franklin is 0 in the first quarter against the team with the big streak. And there you see the gusting winds. It usually swirls here at Camp Randall. Certainly it is a factor, but it is a wind that's these kids aren't used to. It's tough to get a read on it. It'll be tough in the kicking game and tough for the quarterbacks.
Well, 10 ticks left. Yeah, I think you're right. They want to, on 3rd and 10, you force a pass here by Kimberly and it's incomplete. They got to punt into the wind before you turn it around.
So they burn a timeout to take advantage of the conditions. The day started in sunshine and temperatures in the 60s. It has deteriorated during the Division II game, and the temperature dropped and the wind kicked up. There is a 50% chance of rain, I believe, here late afternoon and tonight.
Bite your tongue.
But none of the snow that we saw last year.
3rd and 10 for Vandenboom and the Papermakers. They will throw. And it's intercepted on the overthrow. Tackled down at the 12. Brad Tobin. Right place, right time, and that's how the quarter ends. The Sabres get it right back on the pick, leading after one, 7-0 over the defending state champs. Interception, yes, Bill, but yards after the interception, iffy.
Well, keep your eye right here. This guy makes the interception, and then it appears is down at the 43-yard line. This isn't the NFL. He gets up and returns it to the 11. So not only is it a major play with the turnover, but then the return puts Franklin in a position to add to a 7-0 lead.
Franklin ran 20 plays to the 10 for the Papermakers in that first quarter. Big stack up at the line of scrimmage, nothing there in the carry for Dykstra. Franklin had 116 yards, Kimberly only 36. Franklin defense in disruption mode against the Papermakers in that first quarter.
Kimberly averages 43 points a game. So that's a interesting note.
2nd and 10 for the Sabres. Jones and Dykstra in the backfield. Lewis in motion. Floater. Incomplete. Wittenberg had some company in the end zone.
Ryan Carney had him bracketed along with 24 Connor Zerpel. He was going to have to thread the needle to complete that pass.
So 3rd and 10 after the interception. Last time Franklin forced a turnover, they drove into the red zone, couldn't cash in, turned it over themselves. Now they spread them out. Empty for Alba. Over the middle, in traffic, catch is made, touchdown! Wittenberg for 6.
He was well covered. Steichel was all over Wittenberg, and Alba threw a strike for a second score. Alba fakes his bubble screen to the left, lets the play develop, and then throws a fastball amidst 3 defenders. Touchdown, Franklin.
Wittenberg in the end zone again. PAT is good again. 14-0 Sabres. Points off of turnovers, 7. As number 7 delivers for the Sabres. Oh yeah. Ethan into the end zone. Wittenberg, his 10th TD catch of the season, took under a minute after the interception. 3 plays, 11 yards. Alba, 94 yards tossing the football now in the first half.
And remember, if you look at how the scoring drive occurred, they picked up 30 yards on a return after the interception.
Certainly helped, but a big play there by Alba.
Oh, that was a good throw.
Ball bouncing around the turf once again. Tyler Bruss. Nice return out to the 35-yard line. Tyler is the twin brother of Logan. Smaller in size. Steve Jones saying, yeah, they're twins, you wouldn't know it. Here's the field position so far. Kimberly's been pinned back pretty well, and Franklin, they've been in great shape each time they've had the football. 1st and 10 here at the 35. Toss it to Stewart, it's on the ground. Franklin's got it again. And Kimberly, right now, can't get out of their own way.
Well, they don't look like a team that's won 55 in a row and had been here before. There's Stewart on the pitch, and he just drops it and then kicks it. And again, Franklin's in the right place for the recovery. And we just showed that field position stat. Well, Franklin has good field position and a short field once again with an opportunity to add to its 14-0 lead.
Third turnover of the first half for the paper makers. Uncharacteristic by Kimberly.
You ask anybody, and most coaches will say Kimberly doesn't beat themselves. Well, it's cold. Conditions aren't great, but they've made 3 boo-boos.
Alba on 1st and 10. Tried to thread the needle into Wittenberg. Looked like Connor Zerpel was there and got a piece of it to knock it down. Brings up 2nd down and 10. And remember, Franklin was going in after one of those turnovers inside the 5 when Jones coughed it up. So this could be even worse if you're the paper makers, if that's even possible.
But as you learned last year, you can't have enough points against Kimberly.
Yeah, don't flip the channel. 2nd down and 10, 32-yard line. Alba flips it to Jones. Marker flies on the edge. It might be a hold. And Hammond will huddle up with his crew.
And Franklin is backing up in anticipation of a penalty.
Got a hold on the offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Still going to be 2nd down.
What's great about Pat Hammond, he's not even mic'd. You can just hear him. It's the old basketball coach in him. So. Great pipes. All right, big march off here against Franklin, all the way back to the 47-yard line. So they've got work to do, that far to go, down to the 22 if they want to convert. 2nd and 25. As he trips to the bottom for Alba. Looking that way. Again, lots of time. And now not so much. High throw and going up to get it and making the catch at the 38-yard line. It's Kyle Lewis.
He did a good job of coming back to his quarterback. First of all, Alba had great protection. Then finally, when the protection broke down, he showed his mobility. And Lewis came back to the ball very well. He's got a lot of time. You can't fault the offensive line here. Now, his athletic ability takes over. He buys some time with his feet, and Lewis comes back and goes up in the air. Still a long way to go on 3rd down, though.
Got a chunk there, but 3rd and 16 now. Over the middle. To the 27, well shy of the 1st down. They got to Lewis again, tried to use his feet.
Kyle Mayfield hauled him down, about 5-6 yards short of the 1st down.
Lewis, he's the possession guy in this aerial attack. He's got the great hands, terrific athlete. You saw what Wittenberg can do. He's that bigger, taller, thicker target for Max Alba.
Austin Geiger is their field goal kicker. He's 10 of 20 this year. He would be kicking into the wind, so they're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Dykstra in the backfield, 2 receivers on each side. And we got a penalty marker in the Kimberly backfield. It's going to be a delay of game.
Penalty. Still 4th down.
They'll make it 4th and 10 now. Still in that area where Lewis Brown, you just go for it and maybe throw it up, see what happens.
Well, with Alba, 4th and 10 isn't impossible.
Certainly possible.
Yeah.
Need to find the 22 to make it possible. Incomplete. In and out of the hands of Mike Henning. And Kimberly dodges a big bullet, gets the football back.
And Parker shoes the defender, but that pretty much was a ball that was catchable.
And it was right at the first down marker. Would have been a first down.
Yeah. Instead, Kimberly gets a big stop, a needed stop, and their offense gets an opportunity. They haven't been on the field much. Franklin with about a 2-1 advantage in time of possession in this one. Certainly Kimberly hasn't gotten a rhythm yet offensively.
First and 10 at the 32. Zach Miller pushes the pile out to the 36. It's the fifth possession for Kimberly on offense. It's gone like this so far. 3 and out, fumble, interception, fumble. They'd like to change that trend.
Zach Miller's 5'8", 171. He kind of gets lost against all those big guys in the huddle.
Got a lot of snaps last year, though. A lot of blowouts by Kimberly, and then they sit Blair Mulholland, and Zach Miller got a lot of opportunity to carry the rock. Vandenboom fakes it, rolls it, fires it, and catch is made. Should be a first down. Right at the marker, Tanner Johnson comes up with it. One of the tight ends in a 3 tight end rotation for Kimberly.
Johnson's a big target at 6'7", 196. Vandenboom throwing on the run. Makes a nice throw.
.42-yard line after a gain of 10. Under 8 to go before halftime. First downs, Kimberly. It's been chunky to get those so far. Hand it off to Miller. And Miller stacked up the 45-yard line. DJ Stewart not in on this drive after he fumbles, maybe getting a little time on the sidelines to think about it.
Miller made some big plays in that narrow victory over Fond du Lac. So he's been involved in some clutch situations.
And Steve Jones was talking about that earlier this week. He said you got to have 2 quality running backs because you never know, injury or your number 1 guy is off one night. Zach Miller came to the rescue to help bail him out against Fondy. It's the call again here to the 47. We're on 3rd down and 5.
And Miller's been the primary back here. Stewart hasn't had a snap, I believe, since the fumble.
Hasn't been on the field.
Good look at Zach.
3rd down and 5.
He's a senior.
Big down here for the Papermakers on 3rd and 5. Vandenboom. Catch is made. 44-yard line. First down it goes to Tyler Bruss.
Bruss, 29 catches coming in for 518 yards. Been hampered by an ankle problem at times this year.
Yeah, missed a couple games late in the season with that ankle. Stats could have been better, but they preserved him, sat him out a couple games so he would be ready for the playoff run. 1st and 10 from the 44. Give it to Miller. Miller doing all the dirty work here on this drive. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7.
Again, ball security is key on this blustery night where your hands get cold, even with gloves. Kimberly with 3 turnovers already. And having to play from behind again at Camp Randall.
But the cure-all would be put it in the end zone here and you're only down a score.
Absolutely.
2nd down and 8. Tight end shift. Vandenboom reels it back in. Wants to throw deep. Over the middle. Pops out. Bruss had it for a moment. Falls incomplete.
Bruss runs the post, and a good defensive play knocks it away from Bruss. That was Brad Tobin who recovered a fumble earlier. Here he goes stride for stride with Bruss. And I think he got a finger on it.
Yeah, Tobin, good look there. If he didn't get a fingernail on it, he at least had that glove in the vicinity of Bruss to disrupt things. Now it's 3rd and 8 for Kimberly. Vandenboom. Bruss again. First down, Papermakers. Go right back to Mr. Dependable. And this time they hook up to move the chains.
Yeah, Logan Bruss has gotten more newspaper headlines than his twin brother, but Tyler Bruss has been the go-to guy early in this one.
Kimberly at the Franklin 30-yard line.
Ball to 30.
Good-looking drive for the Papermakers. Certainly their best of the afternoon or early evening.
First and 10, Vandenboom. Off the fingertips. Couldn't get it there sooner. Logan McCormick. Again, he's part of a 3 tight end rotation along with Johnson and Boyd Dietzen.
McCormick's an all-state defensive end, but as you say, he gets a few calls on offense, and there he couldn't hold on.
Alec Boudry was there to wrestle him down and make sure he didn't get a clean catch. He did not, so it's 2nd and 10. Bunched in tight. And Stewart back in there for the carry. DJ weaves through. Makes his way close to the 25-yard line. Going to be 3rd down and 5.
Kimberly's converted 3 of 6 on 3rd down in the first half.
Stewart has rushed for 30 touchdowns this season. He's caught 6 TDs through the air coming out of the backfield. Dangerous weapon once he gets into the open. This drive alone, it's been impressive and it's been long. 3rd and 6. It's Stewart. Only a yard.
First big decision of the night coming for Steve Jones. 4th down.
There's your all-state guy making the tackle. Latron Kirk Spewer. Honorable mention all-state.
Adam Stagg is the field goal kicker for Kimberly. He's 5 of 6 in field goal attempts this year. This would be about a 42-yarder, so that's too long. They're going for it here on 4th down.
Stage is a good one. He's all-state honorable mention kicker, but in these elements, forget it. 4th and 5 for Kimberly. Vandenboom rolls. Fires. Bruss dropped it. Had it. Couldn't find the handle. Franklin takes over on downs. We'll step aside. 3:40 left before halftime. The Sabres still pitching a shutout. Getting it done with the D. Sabres defense, you got to tip your helmet to Franklin. Papermakers put together their best drive of the night. It lasted over 5 minutes, 12 plays, 43 yards, and nothing to show for it.
Brad Tobin with a big defensive play covering for us at the end of that drive.
First down toss, sideline toss, goes in and out of the hands of Wittenberg. It'll be second down and 10.
Alba going to keep throwing even though they have the lead and 3:36 left in the half. That's what they do. There you see his numbers on this late afternoon.
Alba missed some time earlier this season. He played week 1, then had a knee ligament sprain, and they missed him. Alba dancing in the pocket, throw, broken up. Never had possession. Mitchell Hansing. Nice attack there by Alex Warzen to break it up. It'll be third and 10.
Connor Zerpel also did a good job on the receiver. Kimberly turned into its defense to make a play. Franklin's been good on third down. Kimberly hasn't been able to get him off the field.
Kimberly faithful getting loud for their defense. They want a 3 and out.
Going to be a procedure call against Franklin.
Full start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Back to the 20-yard line. So Lewis Brown, it's his 24th year overall in the program. He's used to be the defensive coordinator. Jeff Klemp used to be the head coach. Jeff handed off the keys to Lewis, but stayed on to be the offensive coordinator. See what Jeff Klemp dials up here on 3rd and 15. Straight drop. Alba hangs in the pocket. Finds his man. First down and more. And it's Wittenberg again.
And he fired another laser into number 7's chest. Wittenberg jitterbugs his way for a couple extra yards.
Bro, if I won't put you in the spot and have you haul out the telestrator, but Tanner Dykstra hung in there in the backfield and provided a huge block straight up the gut to give Alba time to make the connection. They get the first down to 37. Alba, shovel toss, bang.
Oh my.
Down goes Jones. Biolo.
Well, he's playing a game.
Isn't he ever?
That was certainly the hit of the first half. That guy will tell you about it. Watch Biola smell this shovel pass out.
Eric's got to check out and shake the cobwebs. Can't blame him. Loss of a couple, 2nd and 12. Alba, look out, caught from behind. Boy, Dietzen got him for the takedown.
Yep. Alba didn't feel the heat from coming from behind, and Dietzen finished him off. Dietzen's 16th sack of the year. Good athlete, made the state tournament and the shot put in the disc last year.
Yeah, he and McCormick on that D line. McCormick, an all-stater who's going to North Dakota State. Once they get penetration, they can be real forces to disrupt things. Here it's 3rd and 12. Timeout Franklin. They want to talk about it.
That's their last timeout. Comes with a minute 56 left before halftime.
Better time than any, Bill, to remind everybody to not go away. Because if you weren't here to witness it or didn't watch it on TV, we can remind you that it was the snow globe in the second half between Kimberly and Arrowhead. Kimberly was down 21 points and somehow managed to beat Mother Nature and the Warhawks and win another state title.
I mean, just a wonderful game. I mean, Steve Jones was asked about it. He said it was unbelievable and surreal at times, he thought. There's Blair Mulholland. Again, that's the best game I've ever seen. It had everything. I mean, a lot of skilled star players. The conditions were marvelous in the second half, and Kimberly showed a lot of grit in coming back.
Alba in trouble again. Down he goes again. Logan McCormick.
And I
joins
believe he got
Dietzen getting a sack.
Yeah, the two big bookend defensive ends come up with a big defensive play and give Vanden Boom and company a chance to get the football back in the last 100 seconds of the half.
That's why Kimberly burns a timeout here. They want to make Franklin boot this football and give them a chance. Great pressure for both ends.
And Biolo's there again as well. Well, he's had a strong first half.
It was like about 2 or 3 Biolos, it seems. Back to the snow globe game. Just to button that up. Jordan Jansen, their talented receiver who was a senior last year, he came up to Jones when they were down 21 and the snow flying and said, "Coach, I'm having so much fun right now. Isn't this great?" Steve wasn't amused, even though he tells his kids all the time, enjoy the moment, soak up the moment. But afterwards, he was able to enjoy it and say, there's a kid who is enjoying the moment like I coach him and like I tell him, even though he was down 3 scores.
Jack Takarian is the punter.
Gets it off, no problem. And down by Kyle Lewis. So Kimberly, 1 TO in Steve Jones' back pocket, $1:40 to work. One last shot here to get on the scoreboard before halftime. Remember, Franklin deferred. Sabres get the ball to start the third quarter.
You're looking at Danny Vanden Boom in the middle of the offensive huddle. 29 TD passes this year, 2,000 yards passing. Named the Dave Craig Award winner by the Wisconsin Sports Network, the best quarterback in the state.
Hawk Wimmer was an award winner as well for his play for Franklin.
He won the Tim Krumrie Award, which goes to the best defensive lineman.
1st and 10 to 32. Pressure. Dumps it off over the middle. Zach Miller. Catch and carry out to the 38. Both Vanden Boom and Alba are so cool in the pocket. You see what has transpired here in the first half. Normally you'd look at that and say, this is a nightmare first half, but it's only 14-0. 2nd and 4. Look out. They say the ball hit the turf. And that's a big exhale for Kimberly because that was a pick 6.
Aaron Simmons
the other way.
Off to the races.
Yep.
Take a look at it again, and the ball did hit the turf, I believe. He has confirmed that from that angle. Here's another look.
Hard to tell. Tyler Verstegen was the intended receiver. Took the crazy hop, but goes down as incomplete. 3rd down and 4. Vanden Boom rolls left. And that ball is incomplete. Verstegen again. And nobody, Bill, was around him. He just dropped it.
It happens, even to the best of receivers, and that's what Verstegen has been. Had 49 catches this year, but he dropped that one.
Tyler's dad, Mike, he's the offensive line coach for Kimberly. Played for the Badgers, played in the NFL. Adam Stage. Guns a line drive kick. Kyle Lewis just gets out of the way. That's a smart move. So Kimberly, their 5th possession of the first half, 5th possession without a score, and only 5 first downs.
And I know Franklin averages 35 points a game, but I don't see on them any reason to do anything crazy here when you're on the 5-yard line with a 2-touchdown lead. That's what they've done. That opening drive was very impressive. It took 5 minutes off the clock. The second touchdown came after an interception. But I got to think they're going to be pretty conservative here.
50 ticks left.
In fact, they go to the victory formation, so you're going to see a knee twice. And then a big cheer from the Sabres fans as they have shocked a lot of people by getting an early lead and holding on to it.
Lewis Brown, he'll take it. He had his guys here this morning for the Division III state championship. They were sitting in the stands, and I asked him, "You're here a little early, Coach." And he said, "Look, we got a lot of young guys who haven't been here. They haven't played this deep. We want to come in, let them relax, soak it up." They went back to their hotel, had lunch, got together one last time as a team, then came back to Camp Randall. So far, the formula works because it's halftime and the Sabres lead the 3-time defending state champs from Kimberly 14-0 at the half. We'll be back to kick off all of our halftime activities. The Division I Championship. You're watching it on Fox Sports Net.
Now performing is the Franklin Varsity Dance Team, coached by Sarah Heidemann and Kayla Henry. Today they will be performing a routine to Lilar. Cheerleaders from Franklin High School. The Sabres cheerleaders.
Back at Camp Randall Stadium, the defending champion Kimberly Papermakers find themselves trailing the Franklin Sabres 14-0 here at the half of the Division I state championship game. Again, Kimberly has a 55-game winning streak. They are the 3-time defending state champions. They have not lost since level 3 of the playoffs in 2012 to Arrowhead. So this would be big news if that score holds, or if the Kimberly Papermakers have another comeback in their hands like they did last year. Back here at Camp Randall, I'm Sophia Minert, joined by WIAA Executive Director Dave Anderson. Dave, it's always a great time to catch up with you. This is the grand finale for the WIAA for the fall season. Tell me a little bit about the fall tournaments and just all of the action that we've seen across all of the WIAA sports.
Well, you know, Sophie, it is just a great finish to our fall tournament season, ending up here in Camp Randall with all the help and support we get from Coach Chris, UW Athletics, Director Alvarez, and everyone. But, all of this began way back in October. It's hard to even think back that far with our state golf championships at University Ridge, and then we go right into tennis and team tennis and swimming, diving, soccer, volleyball, boys volleyball, cross country. It's quite a run.
It is quite a run. You're the man that gets to hand out all the hardware with the WIAA, and the winter season has started already, if not starting very soon for a number of sports.
Absolutely. You're about halfway through the fall tournament season, and one day you look at the calendar and you see, oh my goodness, it's first day of girls basketball practice or something like that. It's incredible the amount of time that both these student athletes and the coaches and the athletic directors put into all of this, for the good of the kids and the community. But, I'm sure that over Thanksgiving we're going to start seeing basketball scores reported already.
You're a former football coach, so what do you think of the action that you've seen here over the last 2 days?
It is so much fun, and it is fun to be back down on the sideline and watch those big bodies move through space at high rates of speed, and the coaches in this state do such a good job. I've seen so many. That Cedar Grove game last night, disappointing loss, and yet I see kids helping one another up off the turf. I see hugs from coaches to players of the other team. It's why we do it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for all of your work throughout all of the WIAA calendar year, especially here at football as we wrap up the WIAA fall season. So when we come back, we'll take a look back at the first half of this Division I WIAA football state championship right here at Camp Randall. Halftime coverage, the WIAA football state championships. We have just one half of football left in the 2016 season. It started all the way back on August 1st, and here we go, our final day, final game, looking to crown a Division I champion. And right now, the story, the Kimberly Papermakers, the three-time defending state champs, They have been shut out so far in the first half by the Franklin Sabres, who have a 14-0 lead. Back here at Camp Randall Stadium, I'm Sophia Minert, joined now by Al Minert, and we talked before the game. You said Franklin, it was really important for them if they wanted to give themselves a chance to get off to a good start, establish some confidence, and make Kimberly uncomfortable, which is exactly what they've done, forcing 3 turnovers.
Yeah, and that's, from them now this half, they need to continue playing well and not give a possession back. Again, for them to play error-free football will be real important. From Kimberly's standpoint, they need to try to steal a possession. So whether that's in the kicking game, or something like that, but it's going to be hard for them to get back in without something really positive in their favor, some type of a turnover or something.
The Kimberly Papermakers have just 82 yards of total offense, the 3 turnovers as well. And here's how their drives went. A punt, fumbled the kickoff, an interception, a fumble, and then 2 possessions out on down. So how do they establish a little bit more offensive rhythm?
Right, that's exactly what they need to do. And again, the wind is playing a big factor tonight. So again, it'll be interesting if they end up with the win in the third quarter. They need to get back in the game and hope the momentum flip will energize their kids. They need their stars to shine and make plays. They just haven't played Kimberly football the first half. So coach has to hope they show up this second half. They've got the firepower to do it.
There's no doubt the Kimberly Papermakers surely have the talent to do it. They did it last year, again, against Arrowhead. They were down 21 and came back in a terrific second half, one of the great all-time football games played here at Camp Randall at the high school level. So we'll see if the Kimberly Papermakers can come back. When we come back, Bob Brainerd and Bill Brophy will take a look at the first half stats and highlights.
Student atop her class, lettered 11 times in cross country, basketball, and track. And earned 3 in all-time first team. She's studying business at the University of Minnesota Duluth. From Chequamegon High School, Kevin Koski. Kevin lettered 11 times in cross country, hockey, and track. He's a 2-time state cross country champion and earned Narrowwood All-Conference first team honors 4 times. He competes in cross country and track at Illinois State University. The WIAA Scholar Athlete Program, recognizing all around excellence in the classroom, in sports, and in our communities. Attention all soccer.
Halftime here in Madison at Camp Randall Stadium. This is the Division I state championship. The defending state champs are being shut out at the half, 14-0 by the Franklin Sabres. And before the team went into the locker room, Kimberly, well, Logan McCormick, you see him in the middle of the huddle. That was in the end zone. The coaches were all off to the side. Players only meeting, if you will. And Logan McCormick, perhaps, Bill, a sense of urgency to rally his teammates for the second half.
Well, he's won state titles. He knows what it takes to win state titles. He's given those guys a history lesson. As you say, in the players only meeting, and you don't see that very often, particularly from a team that's won 55 games in a row. He maybe had to remind them what they did to get to this point. But anyway, that was unusual, and it shows you they're frustrated. Franklin did what they needed to do. They got the early lead. Kimberly made 3 turnovers. Franklin converted one of them into points, and they certainly have dominated the first half.
The good news for Kimberly is that it's only 14-0, but Franklin will show you the highlights on how they scored those 2 touchdowns. They went to the air with Max Alba and all his receivers, 5 different receivers. Then Tanner Dykstra punched it in to make it 7-0.
That ended an 86-play drive, which made a statement early, and then Alba shows his arm here, hitting Wittenberg on just a laser, and that made it 14-0. That came after converting a turnover. That was a short field. By and large, Franklin's had good field position because of those turnovers. Again, they had an 85-yard march to start the game. So that one started at their 15. Otherwise, they've had short fields thanks to turnovers. Kimberly hasn't had their running game going. Vandenboom didn't have a very big half. I think that might have been part of the message. They need to, and Al Minnick just alluded to it, they need their stars to shine. They need the big guys to play big. Stewart had a tough half. Vandenboom didn't make many plays. We saw some drops from the receivers. Kimberly's been here before. They average 40 points a game. Don't go away, folks. We're not just hyping the game. We've seen this act before. But Franklin's done what they had to do. They got the early lead. Alba's the real deal. He threw for 130 yards. And again, Kimberly made uncustomary mistakes, 3 turnovers.
Everyone loosening up for the second half of this one. 55-game win streak on the line for the Papermakers. They'll play in the second half from behind, trailing 14-0. Friday Night Lights here in Madison, and the Sabres from Franklin looking for their second state championship in school history. They've had their way with the defending champs in the first half of this one, leading at 14-0. When we come back, we kick off the second half. Sabres deferred, so they get the ball back in the second half with a 2-touchdown lead.
The 2016 WIAA State Football Tournament is brought to you by Marshfield Clinic, enriching lives together for generations. Rural Mutual, premiums paid here, stay here to keep Wisconsin strong. And the Dairy Farm Families of Wisconsin, the Wisconsin Milk Marketing Board.
Back here in Madison, Wisconsin, that was the scene earlier in the day, and boy, times have changed. Weather has changed. Wonder if Steve Jones checked the radar, hoping there'd be snow here in the second half. Anything to help the cause to get his team back on an uptick. Franklin Sabres, impressive, coming in here, staring down the defending state champs and leading them 14-0.
Richard Arguello of the Appleton Post-Crescent asked the question on Twitter at halftime. You can remember the last time Kimberly had been shut out in the first half, because they answer those questions in Twitter land. You know that. Anyway, the answer is apparently got to go back to 2010 and a 10-6 loss to Appleton North, the last time Kimberly had been shut out in the first half.
Goodness. But as we have reminded you, and justifiably so, Kimberly was here a year ago against a very good Arrowhead team that had a ton of offensive weapons. And you see kicking team coming out. McCormick, there he is. You saw him gather the troops in the end zone. Coaches let him have their moment, and McCormick, he chewed his teammates out.
Again, it's for a history lesson. Kimberly was down 27-21 to Arrowhead at the half last year. Then they were down 42-21 with 3 minutes left in the third quarter. So that's what we keep alluding to about last year's comeback. So they've been there before, but not so unimpressively. They scored points and moved the ball last year. They didn't do much at all offensively against a tough Sabre defense here in the first 24 minutes tonight.
Ball blows off the tee. Gonna have to tee it up here. Brad Tobin, Kyle Lewis are deep for the Sabres. Adam Stage, he's been kicking and punting since his sophomore year for the Papermakers. Yeah, remember the old orange tees with the teeth in the back, bro?
I had one in the punt, pass, and kick competition.
So did I. Those are gone. Now it's like a little petri dish. Good boot. That's a touchback. So the Sabres will take over, 1st and 10 at the 20.
Again, the wind is blowing so hard you might even saw the pylons in the back of the end zone have been blown off as their moorings. It is at the back of Kimberly as we play the third quarter, and Franklin will go into that wind, which is expected to gust near 30 miles an hour about this time of the night.
Max Alba, business as usual for him. A little over 50% throwing the football. That TD toss to Wittenberg over the middle. Alba now with 23 touchdown throws. And not a complete season after those early season injuries. On the ground, Dykstra busts through. Gain of 6 for Tanner Dykstra. He scored the first 6 on that 2-yarder. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
Again, they don't run the ball much, but Dykstra has provided them for most of the running game tonight.
Just enough to keep the defense honest, as they say. Spot at the 25, 2nd and 5. Quick toss down the sidelines. Kyle Lewis, that's what he does. Yak, yards after the catch. So speedy, so elusive.
They get Lewis some time and space. And a good block by the wide receiver here on the right of your screen. That's Wittenberg, who frees his fellow receiver for some extra yards after the catch. Well-designed play.
From the 37, 1st and 10. Alba steps up. Catch is made at the 46. And then it's gang tackle time.
I think when that rugby scrum is whistled down, it's going to come back because of a holding call, though. There is a flag. I think Pat Hammond has seen a hold. Indeed, he has, so that'll be nullified.
Yeah, everybody was watching the college kids in the phone booth at the 40. Here's Pat Hammond.
Got a hold on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot. Still first down.
Left tackle's going to be caught holding here. It's a wrestling play. Yeah, grabbing the jersey.
It's Peter Lerai, Jr.
So it wipes out a nice gain and moves the ball back to the 19.
First in a bunch. Alba, straight ahead. QB keeper to the 31. Got some of it back.
Yeah, he can run too on 1st and 28.
Those long looping strides. Again, he and Vandenboom are just like identical. 3 sports stars, very good in their other sports too. And when they're playing football, those athletic, natural instincts just take over.
Both are basketball players in addition to their baseball prowess, which we've touched upon.
2nd and 14. Alba has time. Intercepted. Stepping in front for the pick. It's Tyler Starkle. Starkle, the all-state linebacker. There's the break. There, perhaps, is the turning point that the Papermakers needed.
Well, they need one of their players, their big-time players, to step up and make a play. Starkle does right here. And certainly he gives the Papermakers great field position, something they haven't had much of the night. They get the ball the 40-yard line to start the second half offensively.
Second TO now by Franklin. Hand it off. Zach Miller for a gain of 3.
Miller again has carried the mail most of the time tonight, particularly after DJ Stewart, the all-state running back, had a fumble in the first half.
Miller getting all the tough yards. Got 3 there, 2nd and 7. Vandenboom. Too hot. Intended for Tyler Verstegen once again.
Verstegen, who dropped the pass, and really a symbol of the frustration Kimberly felt in the first half. Verstegen had no chance on that ball. That was a fastball that went over his head.
Mentioned Verstegen's father, Vandenboom's father, of course. Matt Vandenboom played for Bucky back in the day. He was a good one. 3rd and 7. They hand it off to Stewart. That won't get it done. 5 yards shy, 4th and 5. What do you do here?
I think I got to go for it. I think if McCormick's words are going to be answered from halftime, I think you got to have confidence in your guys to get it done.
Yeah, you send a message to your offense right here as the flashcards go up. Franklin looking for another stop. Danny Vandenboom didn't like it. He'll burn a timeout, talk it over with his head coach, Steve Jones. We'll take a timeout as well. 3rd quarter underway here in Madison. It's still 14-0 Franklin. key fourth down play here for Kimberly, 4th and 5. Danny Vandenboom, all-state QB, not just for his numbers, but for how he handles this offense. Only 3 returning starters for the Papermakers this year, but the poise and the way he brings his calming demeanor to the offense has been a big plus. They will need his playmaking ability here on 4th and 5. Rolling, firing, catching, cross, first down Kimberly. Got the job done.
Yep, they needed to sustain the drive. They go for it on 4th down. Missed on a similar opportunity in the first half, but here Kimberly rolls and makes a play. Russ has been his favorite receiver, and he gets the first down.
And that's why you like Vandenboom burning that timeout. So critical to convert there. He didn't like something. He wanted to make sure. Drive stays alive.
Not only is he a good player, he's a good student. 4.0 grade point average.
1st and 10 at the 25. Back to the ground and Miller. Sack for a gain of 3.
Yeah, his coach Steve Jones talks about he's a role model in the community. Never complains. He's the ultimate student athlete, Danny Vandenboom. And he had to like the fact that he called that timeout there when he didn't like what he saw on an important 4th down situation.
Steve Jones, he's the offensive coordinator, but he trusts Vandenboom. 2nd and 7. Still got it. Fires. Catch is made. Climbing the ladder, McCormick. That's backing up your words at halftime by making plays in the second half.
Yeah, he's more than just an orator. Shows a little athleticism here. Shows some springs and makes the catch. Ball's at the 10. Kimberly looking to make a statement drive here. Britain points off the turnover.
McCormick, 6'3", 230. You've seen him wreaking havoc on defense. Big target on offense when he's in there. Handed off to Miller. Nothing doing. Ran into Hawk Wimmer. And Hawk is just a running back stuff machine.
Wimmer tore his meniscus a month before the season started, but he's gotten healthier as the year's gone on and made a lot of big plays, so that he did win the Tim Crumry Award as the best defensive lineman in the state, and as an all-stater as well.
Second and goal. Fake the toss to the end zone. And it's broken up.
Tobin again makes a big play.
Going mano-a-mano with Verstegen, brings up 3rd and goal.
He's been in the middle of lots of things here, has Tobin. Brad's the captain, even though just a junior.
Starter last year as a sophomore. You can see why. Making plays. 3rd and goal, Kimberly from the 10. Vandenboom goes the other way. Touchdown, Papermakers! Boyd Dietzen. You know what? You got 3 tight ends. Use them all. Papermakers finally on the scoreboard.
And all those fans in the stands can exhale. Vandenboom rolls right, throws back left. Dietzen had stuck behind the defense. He's wide open, and Kimberly gives him a strike. That's 94. Dietzen sheds the blocker, and he's unguarded. And they have 6.
Great play call from Steve Jones. Got everyone to swerve right. Big fella out on an island. Goes left. 9 plays, 40 yards. The defending state champs on the scoreboard. Touchdown pass to cut the lead in half. Big body there to make the catch and go into the end zone. 6'3", 226. Vanden Boom to Dietzen from the 10 on 3rd and 10. And Vanden Boom looked like himself on that drive. 9 of 17, 81 yards so far. Starting to figure things out here. And using all the weapons along the way.
Now remember, it came off a turnover as well, so they make him pay for their second turnover of the night.
Stage again provides the touchback. So Franklin, offense back out there behind Max Alba. Alba and Vanden Boom not only share their 3 sports star status, but their demeanor, just how cool they are. Turn up the pressure, no worries.
Second offensive series of the second half for the Sabres.
Jet sweep, but trouble. Dietzen with the tackle. It was trouble because Kyle Lewis ran into his own man.
Yeah, his own man blows up the jet sweep. The fullback interferes with the running back. That's Danny Kaltenbach. Excuse me.
Kurt Spiewer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Latron didn't get out of the backfield and provide some clearance in time. No gain, 2nd and 10. Fake the give, toss it over the middle, and broken up. Intended for Kyle Lewis, who was trying to climb the ladder. Kimberly D responds.
Kyle Mayfield broke it up, and you sense a momentum change here at Camp Randall. Franklin went 86 yards on their first drive to score. Then they took advantage of a turnover to go 11 yards to score, and since then, Franklin hasn't done much offensively.
3rd down conversions, Franklin's been good so far, but needing to convert here. Alba hangs in there, pass is short, falls incomplete. 3 and out for the Sabres.
That just wasn't a good throw. And again, everybody in the place can feel the momentum has swung to the team in the red. See if Kimberly brings the house. They certainly brought pressure on Alba right there. That was Caden Jansen who heated up the quarterback. Now a punt from their own 5.
Jack to Carrion, he's a good one. Fair catch called for and made by Bruss at the 38-yard line. So Kimberly, whatever it took, halftime speeches, changing things up, being more aggressive on both sides of the ball. They're back in the driver's seat here, threatening to tie it up if they can put it in the end zone.
Well, Kimberly with an opportunity to tie the game if they can put together a long march. And their last one was only 40 yards. It happened after a turnover. This one, they started their own 37, 38. In fact, they haven't put the ball down yet. I guess they have it to 38.
Vanden Boom directing some traffic before taking the snap. Zach Miller in the backfield, gets the carry. And he's lassoed. Brought down.
Franklin has done a good job of stuffing the run all night. Neither Stewart nor Miller have been able to break anything close to a big run for Kimberly.
Jake Baumgart, Tanner Schwartz, Wimmer plugging the middle. Kirk Spiewer, honorable mention All-State. They fly to the football. Make tough life tough. Gain of 1, 2nd and 9. Bruss in motion. Vanden Boom goes to Bruss. Brought down to 45. Took 3 Sabres to do it. Brings up third down.
Vandenboom has seen that the running game can't get going, and the pressure is starting to fall onto his shoulders.
Yep, using all his targets. Bruss, his 3 tight ends have all caught passes.
He's thrown for 87 yards. Kimberly's only run for 47.
3rd and 3 here. They hand it off to Stewart. DJ maneuvering to midfield. First down, Kimberly. They go back to the running game, and number 1 comes through.
DJ Stewart's been their home run hitter all year. The shifty, speedy back sheds the 1 tackler and gets the first down. That was Latron Kirk-Spruer had a chance to bring Stewart down shy of the first down marker. He couldn't do it.
So the drive is alive for Kimberly. From midfield, 1st and 10. Stewart again. Met at midfield. Hawk Wimmer and his pals.
There's old Hawk. He's been a force in this one. Hawk Wimmer is 6'4", 303, according to the program.
And nimble on his feet, even with those big braces on. He has to be to get in there and get leverage and move around on the defensive line. One of the best in the state. 2nd down and 10, Papermakers. Vandenboom wants to set up shop. Now he runs it. Out of bounds, maybe a yard.
Prudent decision, though. He saw he had nothing downfield and at least got a yard instead of just throwing it away. Another one of those important 3rd down plays which get magnified in the second half of state title games. This is 3rd and long, though. Stewart picked up a much shorter 3rd down about a minute ago.
Zach Miller's in there, flanked to the left of Vandenboom. Stewart slides through. They fake it to him. Danny, all kinds of time. Catch is made, and it will be a touchdown. Papermakers, a point away from tying it.
Brad Whitman caught the laser from Vandenboom between 2 defenders. He looked well covered, but Vandenboom threaded it in there, and 49 yards later, Kimberly's pulled within a point, their 2nd touchdown of the 3rd quarter. Looked like Dawson Ziegler had him well covered, but the guy in the red number 11 beat the guy in the white number 11.
It's a great pass from Vandenboom. And what guts Vandenboom had to throw it into tight coverage. PAT. And we're all even in Madison. I've seen this before. Another look at what Vandenboom was looking at. A lot of traffic.
Again, he had 2 defenders there. He got the ball through, and Whitman was behind the defense. And Kimberly has rallied the tie.
And Vandenboom, you saw him just stare down his receiver. That's the only place he wanted to go with it. And then he uncorked an absolute rocket.
Once again, Kimberly is showing the heart of a champion and come back. They go 62 yards in 6 plays. Took only 2:49. They've scored 2 touchdowns here coming out of the locker room after the motivational speech by their all-state defensive end. And we are knotted late in the 3rd quarter.
Vandenboom, 31st passing touchdown by him this season. Game on. Stage will need assistance once again.
Got tells you the wind has not subsided as nightfall has overcome Camp Randall.
It's like 2 different days. It's like 2 different seasons here from morning to evening.
I think it was 62 at kickoff for the Division III game when Catholic Memorial avenged the loss to Notre Dame last year and won this morning. It cooled off in the middle of the Division II game when Brookfield East on their first ever state title, beating Monona Grove in Bandy. And we got a good one here in Division I.
Boyd Dietzen with the touchdown pass. Don't hit the finger. Into the end zone for another touchback.
With that wind behind him, Steg has put 3 kickoffs in a row in the end zone.
Well, we were kidding at halftime amongst ourselves that Kimberly had Franklin right where they wanted him, trailing 14-0. They don't play from behind too often, as you might imagine, when you have won 55 consecutive football games. But when they do, and Bill mentioned the Fond du Lac playoff game, they find ways. Alba back at it on 1st and 10. Handed off to Dykstra. Not much room to navigate there, maybe a couple of yards.
But clearly that's an inspired defense right now.
What a difference for Vandenboom from the first half to this half. Only 49 yards throwing in the first half, had the pick. In this quarter alone, he's thrown for 87 and 2 touchdowns. That last series went 62 yards in 6 plays. And they cash in for the tying score. 2nd down and 8 for Franklin. It's all about waiting, buying time. Goes it deep. Kyle Lewis stumbles, regains himself, and is into the end zone for the touchdown. Olan whistles. Is there a flag?
I don't see a flag, but I do see a conference among the officials. There is a penalty.
Yeah.
Illegal receiver downfield, I think.
There is a flag, Bill. It's way on the other side near the Kimberly bench on the 21-yard line, and it's going to wipe out a 78-yard touchdown play.
Pat Hammond has signaled illegal receiver downfield. Preliminary indication.
And the Sabres coaching staff, they are hot.
Well, because it was a busted play, it is conceivable one of the linemen went downfield.
Yeah, Alba was. We'll listen to Pat Hammond.
We have an eligible downfield 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
So wipe it off the scoreboard. Back to even, tied at 14.
See if we can see it again.
The line of scrimmage is the 22. And you see the linemen there are still in the vicinity.
Well, the 171 is at the 25-yard line. That's what they must have called.
That's only 3 yards downfield. Take it off the board. 2nd and 13. Too high, look out. Almost picked off by Kimberly on the back end. Alex Warzen was there off the fingertips of Lewis, who thought he had a big-time touchdown to put Franklin back in front. It'll be 3rd and 13.
They're trying to dial up something on the tablet, and what they come up with here in a 3rd and long. Try to break this momentum, which had gone Kimberly's way.
Under center, Alba delays the handoff to Dykstra. Not enough. 4th down, they'll have to punt.
Another defensive stand by the paper makers.
Now we got more whistles. And I think this was a sideline warning.
I think they just told the Franklin staff to back up.
Yeah, Lewis Brown is still hot.
Yeah.
And
second time you get a warning, you get a penalty along with it. But first time he can back up, but
ball's bounced. Boy, Takarian, though, stayed with it.
And Kimberly didn't have any pressure on the punter.
If they did, they might have had the lead.
I mean, Takarian did a good job of corralling the low snap, but if Kimberly had any pressure at all, he wouldn't have got that punt off. As it was, Kimberly will take over at the 45. And you look at Lewis Brown, who's still not a happy guy after having seemingly the go-ahead touchdown taken away from his Sabres.
Total yards. Look at the difference. From one half to the next, it's like a new Kimberly team. And now, chance to have the lead for the first time tonight. Vanden Boom wanted the home run pass. He won't get it. Down he goes. Wimmer was in there. So was 75. Tyler Benendorf.
He's only 5'11", 283.
Only.
He's among those that have plugged up the middle so effectively, and there he gets a sack.
75. Straight up the gut, strong. Strong like bull. 3-yard loss on the sack. 2nd and 13. Stewart. Boy, had some running room for a moment, and then Wimmer brought him down. Great ankle tackle.
It's going to come down to who's going to win the fourth quarter, Bob.
That's where we are. Franklin 14, Kimberly 14. 12 minutes, maybe more, to decide a state champion in 2016. It was a classic last year between Arrowhead and Kimberly. This game, a year later, shaping up to be another classic.
Certainly been exciting up till now. No, this is going to be a big finish.
Fourth quarter commences. 3rd and 10 for the Papermakers. Vanden Boom tries to convert, and catch is made. Depends on the spot. I think they'll give it to him at the 45, and that's enough for the first down. Brett Whitman says we got it.
Whitman caught the tying touchdown. He gets a first down there to move the chains.
And again, Franklin sideline not happy about that spot. They thought it was a yard shy.
Emotions running high, to be sure.
Look at the numbers on Kimberly's quarterback. What a difference a half makes. Finding his rhythm here. using all the weapons at his disposal. Handed off to Stewart. Gets nailed after a gain of a couple.
And Kimberly just haven't been able to run the football against that stout Franklin rush defense. They've had to go to Vandenboom to do his thing, and he's responded here in the second half.
Second down and 8.
Sabres came in giving up just a shade under 16 a game. Kimberly only has surrendered an average of 9 points a game, and they're used to scoring in the 40s. Second and 8 here. It's Stewart. Running room. Stewart will take it to the house. Touchdown, Kimberly.
No flags.
43 yards and in for DJ Stewart.
Well, he's been their home run hitter all year, but he's seen a lot of curveballs at the outside corner till right here. He finally breaks one. And Kimberly leads for the first time tonight in the state title game.
Who'd have thunk it, right? Had to wait till the fourth quarter to do it. Adam Stage to make it 21. Bad snap. Two-pointer. If they can get it, they get it.
And that's not how they drew it up.
Oh!
But Stage certainly makes a big play to get a 2-point conversion and an 8-point lead for Kimberly.
The defending state champs and DJ Stewart using his wheels to put the Papermakers in front for the first time tonight. Make it an 8-point cushion for Kimberly because, well, disaster bill on the PAT try.
Yeah, Stewart goes 42 yards to give Kimberly the lead. Then a bad snap goes to, but Whitman makes a play, sends a pass to Stage, the kicker, who dives for the pylon, gets a 2-point extra point instead of a PAT, and he's pretty fired up.
Didn't mean to, but hey, should get an extra point. Besides the extra point.
And that changes the dynamics of the last 10:37.
Now Franklin, for the first time tonight, playing catch-up. As Stage will boot the football. Tobin and Lewis are deep.
Heads-up play by Whitman, though, to make something out of that. Stage got the 2 points, and now he'll kick off.
Low line drive. Gobbled up finally at the 9-yard line. This is Lewis. And Kyle out to the 34-yard line.
Kyle Mayfield hanging on for dear life there, made the stop. Here's Stage going for the pylon, and he gets in by hitting the pylon. It's an extension of the goal line.
Next year, we need pylon camp. Talk to our boss, okay?
Yeah, to Telestrators, I think we could add pylon camp.
Spare no expense. State championships, right? Here's Franklin. High-octane offense. They spread them out here on 1st and 10. Alba wheels it back in. Moves Hawk Wimmer out of the way, and Alba's still on his feet. Close to midfield. On a designed quarterback run, Alba picks up a big chunk.
Oh, it was designed, but pretty impromptu once Alba started running with it. Showed he's pretty nifty. Now the pressure has gone to Alba and his offensive unit, which has been pretty quiet since scoring with 11:07 left in the second quarter.
From the 49, 1st and 10. Alba under center here. Gets it, tosses it to Lewis. Dancing the sidelines, pushed out of bounds at the 42. By the way, that last drive for Kimberly, the go-ahead score. 5 plays, 55 yards in 2:17. And DJ Stewart carries it in. He's now got 64 yards and his 31st rushing touchdown of the season.
Pickup of 8 on that.
There you see. That's why we said we've seen this before. Kimberly coming back from a deficit in a state championship game. Little inside draw played at Dykstra. Didn't fool the paper makers.
Once again, Dietzon's in the middle of it.
Starkel as well, the all-state linebacker, excuse me. Brings up 3rd and 3.
The question, I guess, is this is 4-down territory for Franklin this late in the game.
Alba erases the doubt. Catch is made at the 40. 1st down, Franklin.
It's academic now as Alba shows off his arm again. Finds Lewis, who's been one of his favorite receivers tonight. Been his favorite receiver all year.
And he's got a stable of them. 1st and 10, Franklin. 9 minutes left in regulation. Under center again. Alba. Dropped it. No two ways around it. Right in the midst of Wittenberg. Pretty dependable. Might have taken a peek to see if somebody was coming.
Ethan's the captain. He's distraught after that drop. We've seen that play before where they fake the screen out in the flat. Buy some time, and then Wittenberg cuts across the middle. He was open.
Sam Tapper. Face guard saying, my bad. They'll keep firing 7's way, though. 2nd down and 10. Picked off! Alex Warzen. Papermakers steal it away again.
Each team has 3 turnovers, but 2 of them by Franklin's happened in the second half. One helped cause the game to turn around, the score. This one, we'll see if this continues the momentum Kimberly's way. Warzen cuts in front of the receiver and picks it off at the 30, returns it 12 yards. Papermakers are in business again after yet another big defensive play. As good as Vandenboom's been, and those stats back up that he has, you got to credit the defense for causing the 2 turnovers. One early in the half gave Vandenboom a chance to get the offense clicking, and now this one, which could deliver the knockout punch if Vandenboom can lead his offensive unit down the field.
Straight ahead, Stewart. And Stewart threatening to burst again. Besides the message that the players had in the end zone at halftime, you can tell that there were more messages delivered. These guys, they don't want the streak to end. They hear enough about it. And it's not about the streak, but it's about upholding Kimberly football.
There's the motivational speaker, Logan McCormick. If this result holds up, he may be asked to go up the road in the Fox Valley to Green Bay.
Not a bad idea, Bill. They could use some juice. 1st down run there. by Stewart.
He'll be
Moves the
available
chains.
for corporate outings as well. Logan McCormick, a pretty good football player, maybe even a better motivational speaker. And Stewart has had a big year, and he showed you what he can do on that last series when he went 42 yards to the house.
And his number one ever rebounded since he fumbled the football in the first half.
Yep, redemption for Stewart.
Got his act together. Difference maker in the second half. 1st and 10, Kimberly. Zach Miller's in there now. He gets the carry. Straight ahead football. And Miller pushes the pile close to a first down. Franklin defense has been so good against the run. But now Kimberly, they're getting the better push up front.
And they're taking time off the clock in doing so.
Winding down to 7 minutes left in regulation. 2nd down and 1. Miller, first down and change to the 29.
Yeah, Kimberly's offensive line making a statement here. They have not won the line of scrimmage for most of the night, but here at crunch time, pretty good-looking drive.
It's an offensive line, Bill. The only experienced guy that came back was Logan Bruss. They're undersized overall. Miller squeezes through to the 25. But Steve Jones was quick to say they knew they weren't going to be as big this year, but each week they found a way to get better. Each week they found a way to improve. 2nd and 7.
There's Steve Jones, Stevens' point guy. And his record, 74-4, is remarkable as a coach. 6 years.
2nd and 7. Stewart with it. And they're running right behind Bruss. Logan's on the right side. When the game's on the line, and Jones will admit it. He says, we're going there. We're going behind our big body. That's Bruss.
And they certainly have Franklin back on their heels right now. Sabres need somebody to make a play.
3rd and 6. Opportunity here for Franklin. Otherwise, the beat goes on. It's Stewart. Look out. Back in the end zone for a touchdown.
Well, Stewart has come alive in the 4th quarter. Kimberly has come alive in the second half. 28 unanswered points. And the defending state champs are at it again with a 2-touchdown lead in the final 5:19.
Now, who were those guys wearing the red jerseys in the first half of this one?
Well, Stewart doing his thing. Again, he fumbled early, given a second chance. He showed off here in the 4th quarter.
32nd rushing touchdown for DJ Stewart. Kick is good. 29-14. That's 29 unanswered points for the team with a 55-game win streak and perhaps counting. Number 1, DJ. He's been more than okay in the second half, Bill.
Well, just a junior. He's shown off his wheels and why he's been Mr. Touchdown for Kimberly all year. Again, 24-yard run there to cap the 7-play, 57-yard drive, which took 3:19 off the clock. Kimberly, again, established their offensive push on that series, and now up by 2 scores with 5:19. The pressure on Max Alba and Franklin in a big way.
2 scores, and one of them's got to be a 2-point conversion just to tie it. Stage again, into the wind, reeled in, bobbled by Lewis, and that'll cost him. Down he goes at the 15.
Riolo again with a big stop as Lewis had trouble right from the get-go corralling that ball.
Let's dial it back now to when it was tied at 14, and Franklin thought they had this football game untied. They thought they had the lead back again, Bill, but all this dancing by Max Alba, it resulted in the catch by Lewis, wide open. The penalty flag, everybody got excited. Penalty flag back the other way. Illegal man downfield, took it off the board, and a big momentum shift there that Kimberly pounced on.
Again, the score was tied when that occurred early in the fourth quarter.
From the
late
16.
in the third quarter.
Alba loads up. Lewis. It is intercepted.
Connor Zerpel with the pick. And that's the 4th turnover of the night for Franklin.
That may do it.
Yeah, again, you got to credit the defense with making some big plays. And Lewis is a dejected Sabre as he's seen a 14-point lead go bye-bye here in the second half.
Remember all those possessions, the failed possessions by Kimberly in the first half? This is more like it. Straight ahead. Going to run the football, run some clock. Zach Miller on the carry there. DJ Stewart making amends in a big way. Had the fumble early, sat out a couple series. Now he's up to 106 yards rushing on 17 carries. Those 2 touchdowns. Averaging over 6 yards a carry. Those 2 big bursts help push that number up. Second and 5 from the 40. Miller again. He wraps up that football, knowing everyone's going to go after it here. Whistling dead at the 41.
And Franklin, I think it's imperative they make a stop here with 4 minutes left by the time the next snap occurs. Sabres have 3 timeouts, but if Kimberly gets a first down here, Franklin's going to have to start burning those timeouts.
They need 3 yards, make it 4 yards to do it. Keep it on the ground. Zach Miller. Final spin there, got the job done. He curls over the 45 to the 46. First down, Kimberly.
Again, Miller's the little guy. Stewart's the more flashy back. Miller's the dependable senior, and he picks up the big first down. Lewis Brown knows he's going to have to start expending timeouts on defense.
Desperation mode now for the Sabres. Trying to find a way to get the football. 1st and 10, Kimberly. Stewart. Tackled from behind by Wimmer. Clock continues to roll down to 3 minutes left.
Kimberly certainly in no hurry. Vanden Boom's going to use as much time as he can between plays. Papermakers trying to win their 56th game in a row.
And their 6th state championship. Franklin fell to them in 2013. That was the first of what might be 4 straight. It was Arrowhead then the next 2. They were the victims in 14 and 15. Stewart again to the 49.
And Franklin does take a timeout after this play with 2:26 left in the fourth.
So they've got 2 remaining. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
Franklin experiencing what everybody in the Valley Football Association North knows. These guys are pretty good and tough to put away. Franklin scored each of the first 2 quarters. They go 86 yards in the first series to score. Dykstra went for a 1-yard run. Then Alba with an 11-yard pass after a turnover. It looked like the sky was falling for Kimberly. They amassed 5 first downs in the first half. Trailed at halftime. Got the motivational talk from their All-State lineman Logan McCormick. Off by themselves in the end zone, a players-only meeting before they went in the locker room. And they have come out with a vengeance. They've forced 3 of the 4 turnovers on the night for Franklin. Cashed those into points. DJ Stewart with 2 touchdowns. Vandenboom with 2 touchdown passes. Kimberly's just looked like a different team since coming out of the locker room.
Our Rural Mutual play of the game. We're going to hand it off to the gentleman that they hand off to, DJ Stewart. Getting it done, moving his own players out of the way. Big touchdown run there to put Kimberly on top for good.
That happened with 10:37 left in the fourth. He later added a 25-yard run with 5:19 left in the fourth.
Miller on 3rd and 8. Won't get the first down, but he will chew up some yards and force Franklin to burn another timeout here. So it's 4th down, and the punting unit comes out.
Man, that's about as important thing, that they're being forced to use those timeouts on defense and not with the ball.
Vandenboom now up 12 of 20, 146. Not flashy numbers, but it's the big completions that he made. And the 2 touchdowns, shaking off an interception along the way.
This will complete 2 days of football championship play here. Edgar won the Division 7 title for the first time ever. They've got 7 titles overall. That kicked off yesterday's action. We just beat Darlington to win the Division 6 crown. Amherst in a thriller beat Cedar Grove last night, 38-35 in a last-second field goal. And St. Croix Central beat River Valley earlier today. Catholic Memorial avenged last year's loss. So there's yesterday's action. That Cedar Grove Belgian game, the Danny, you did that. Josh Weiss is some sort of quarterback.
Doozy.
Amherst wins back-to-back titles in D5. That was what occurred on Thursday earlier today. Notre Dame is the champ. Catholic Memorial avenged last year's loss with a 24-14 win. Bill Young wins again. Good game earlier today. Brookville East comes from 14 down to beat Monona Grove 42-36. Santiago Lloyd with a record 5 touchdown runs for Brook East in their first ever state title.
Adam Stage boots the football. It'll bounce and roll out of bounds at the 23-yard line. So Franklin, a lot of work to do with only 1 timeout left and 2:14 left on the clock. Think about it, Bill. If you're a senior on this Kimberly team, as we have an injured Saber back near where they booted the football, but if you're a senior on this team and you end up winning this championship, you know nothing but winning championships, state championships. You would have 4 tucked away, and you have never lost a high school football game.
That is amazing, and there aren't many kids that have ever played this game that can say that.
I mean, that's mind-boggling. Yeah, they've been up against it. They were last year against Arrowhead. First half of this one against Franklin. Fond du Lac in the playoffs this year. There are times that they don't have the automatic magic to get the W.
Aaron Simmons walking off the field for Franklin. But, yeah, you're right, absolutely right. And they've done it with the target on their back for all this year. I mean, there wasn't anybody who followed high school football in the state that didn't know Kimberly had the winning streak all year. So they have played with great pressure on them and survived that. And it's credit to Coach Jones and his players.
Incomplete there on the pass by Alba over the middle. our Marshfield Clinic player of the game, we're going to give it to Danny Vandenboom. Not so much for the numbers because they're not eye-popping, but the senior leadership, the calm, the demeanor, how he helped bring his team and rally his team back in the football team. Yeah, that's why he's all-state, because of all the intangibles that senior brings. And he's one of those seniors who will get out of here never losing a football game in his high school career.
Alba completes one to Jessup.
And 3rd and 2, converts there to get the first down. But running out of opportunities and time are the Sabres.
Now, Vandenboom's a cool customer. And I should say, he's been integral. His successor with Austin Weinberg as a quarterback, but Vandenboom's been the guy last couple of years. And we talked about the line of running backs they've had with Pierenboom and Mulholland and now Stewart and Miller, but they had Scott Schreiber before Weinberg and now Vandenboom. And
beat goes on, doesn't it?
Yeah.
At Kimberly.
Yeah.
Lewis couldn't get out of bounds after the catch, so clock continues to roll. 2nd down and 8. Alba escapes. Lost the football. I think that's a fumble. And if it is, that'll seal the deal officially for Kimberly. It is. And the celebration can begin for the 4th straight time.
Alba didn't feel the heat and coughed up the football. That is the 5th turnover of the night, and if you're going to end the Kimberly's winning streak, you can't make 5 turnovers. You got to play almost perfect football. Franklin did that in the first half. They only had 1 turnover. They've had 4 here in the second half. And watch Kimberly score 29 unanswered points and extend their winning streak to 56 games in winning their 4th straight title.
Jeff, our statistician wizard, who's worked all 7 games for us, one last batch of numbers from him. First half yards for Kimberly, 82 yards. Second half, 231. Put your pens and paper away, Jeff.
He's all tournament.
No doubt about it. Unanimous selection.
He's certainly made Jade, you, and Nellie and I look pretty darn good.
That's a feat in itself. Zach Miller gets the carry. See if Steve Jones lets some of these seniors take a curtain call. And, yep, here come some fresh jerseys and bodies.
I think Vandenboom may get his own curtain call.
Yep, Dietzen runs off on that first exchange there. Victory formation for the senior.
And Kimberly rejoices again. I don't think it ever gets old, though. I'm sure Steve Jones will be asked. He can't get enough Gatorade Bass at Camp Randall, especially in the cold. Last year was in the snow. Today it's in the wind. But Kimberly's number 1 again.
3, 2, 1. And there it is. 6th state championship. 07, 08, 13, 14, 15, and now 16. And the beat goes on. 56 straight victories. Longest streak in the nation is still alive. It'll carry over to 2017 with a new batch of paper makers who will look to keep on keeping on. What a program. They're like the Dallas Cowboys, Bill. You might not like them, but you got to respect them for what they do on the football team. Down to the field we go. Sophia Minert standing by with Danny Vandenboom.
Thanks, Bob. Danny, congratulations. Your 4th straight state championship. You extend the winning streak to 56 here. I have to ask you, at the half, before you guys went into the locker room, you got together as a team. What was the message when you were down 14 at the half?
Well, we knew Franklin was a great team, and we had prepared a great week, really. We put together a great week of practice, No, we came out here and we just didn't play the way we wanted to. Franklin was, they had a big part of that, creating some turnovers, and they played well. But we made some adjustments at half and fortunately came out and got the win.
DJ Stewart, great spark offensively, but the work of this defense to force 5 turnovers and put a lot of pressure on Max Alba, how important was that?
Our defense has done a phenomenal job all year long. They're really our senior group, a lot of veterans on that crew. They've kept us in a lot of games, and they did an unbelievable job tonight.
This senior class never lost a football game. You come away with 4 gold balls. How special has this run been for you guys?
It really is special. Winning a single football game is not an easy task, and to win however many in a row, state championships, it's really phenomenal, and it speaks to the great coaching that we have, the community, and the coaches that we have as well. It takes a lot of people to do this.
All right, congratulations, Danny. A great career for you. Go celebrate with your teammates. And yet again, guys, Kimberly, 4-time state champs now, 56 games in a row, and the All-State quarterback, Danny Vandenboom, led them to victory.
Thank you, Sophia, for all your hard work. Yeah, it looks like we're just queuing up a rerun here for the Division I state championship, but this is a fresh one, the latest one. Kimberly wins it, 29-14 over the Franklin Sabres, back to hand out the hardware.
Ladies and gentlemen, the WIAA Executive Office and the Board of Control ask you to participate in the awards presentation honoring these 2 teams who have just completed their championship game. The WIAA congratulates both teams and at this time will present their awards. Presenting the awards will be Board of Control members. And Lady President, People Services Director, Regis Catholic Schools. Scott Winch, President-elect and District Administrator from Stratford. Eric Coleman, Student Services Coordinator for Waukee Public Schools. And Steve Connect, Principal from Kenosha Tremper. They will be assisted by Dave Anderson, the Executive Director of the WIAA. The captains of the Division I runner-up team from Franklin, please step forward and receive your team's individual medals. Now will the coach of the Division I runner-up team from Franklin please come forward and receive your team's trophy. Coach Lewis Brown. Congratulations to the Sabres on your outstanding season.
The 2016 WIAA State Football Tournament is brought to you by Marshfield Clinic, enriching lives together for generations. Rural Mutual, premiums paid here, stay here to keep Wisconsin strong. And the Dairy Farm Families of Wisconsin, the Wisconsin Milk Marketing Board.
Back here one final time at Camp Randall in Madison. Some things never change. Well, at least the last 4 years. The Division I state champion doesn't change. It's once again the Kimberly Papermakers.
Logan McCormick's the guy on the right, or was on the right. He's the guy who gave the halftime speech, but apparently woke him up. So I bet Steve Jones said something as well. He's going to get another gold trophy.
Where have we seen this before? You heard Steve Jones say, I got it? Yeah, he's got it again. 4th straight state championship title, once again, goes to the Kimberly Papermakers. Before we head out, I want to thank all the fine folks, the WIAA. I want to thank our entire Rush Media crew. They were spectacular over the last 2 days, bringing you all the sights and sounds. For all our broadcasting guys, Sophia Minner, her dad Al, birthday boy, Bill Brophy. Happy birthday, bro.
Thanks, Bobby.
Jay Wilson, Scott Nelson, our entire crew, Bob Brainerd saying so long from Camp Randall Stadium here in Madison as we take one last look at all the guys who brought home the gold hardware. Edgar, Eau Claire Regis in Division 6. In D5, a thriller. Last second field goal, Amherst, back-to-back champs. And in D4, Thursday night, St. Croix Central, powerful run game. The Panthers take home the gold. In D3, Waukesha Catholic Memorial does it again. And in D2, Sam Santiago Lloyd, a beast, a record 5 rushing touchdowns as Brookfield East claims the gold. And DJ Stewart and Kimberly, state champs for the 4th straight season. You've been watching the 2016 WIAA State Football Championships on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Good night, everybody.